Okay, I want to talk to you about week 2 in our series, Dealing with Doubt. Now, in this lesson, we're looking at what we might call spiritual doubt. And so this is the doubt that people who are Christians might have that says, like, am I really a Christian? How do I know that I'm really a Christian? What if I don't feel like I'm a Christian? What if I don't feel like praying? What if I don't feel like reading my Bible? And so these are doubts that Christians may have. Now, this might be doubts that real Christians have. You know, there are real Christians who really have these questions and they have these doubts and they struggle with them. Or they might be doubts that people who aren't really Christians have. And they're saying, like, well, am I really a Christian? But it's because they don't really know where they stand with God. And so, again, we're looking at a story from the Bible. And this time we're looking at the encounter that Jesus has with the father of a man, the father of a son who was possessed by a demon. And so we're going to tell the story like we did in the last message. You know, we're going to tell the story. And this story, the payoff of it is when the father says, "I believe, help me with my unbelief." And really, to me, that's the attitude of somebody who has experienced this spiritual doubt. They don't have a lot of faith, and they have a lot of wavering faith. And so this is going to be really good because it's going to get us to talk about wavering faith and how our doubt can overwhelm us. And so we've got a lot of practical steps for people. But one of the big takeaways for Christians is to recognize, and really for anybody, as you call people to the gospel, one of the things that we need to keep in mind is that our faith is not based on, or rather our salvation is not based on the size of our faith, but salvation is based on Jesus Christ. You know, he's the object of our faith. That's who our salvation is based on. So just like we would always say, you know, it doesn't matter what you've done. You can't work your way to heaven. You can't be religious. You can't be moral and get your way to heaven. You also can't just be like, well, I have so much faith, that's why God should accept me. No, it's Jesus who saves. It's not even our faith that saves us, but it's Jesus Christ. And so again, as we look at the picture of Jesus, as we look at the picture of God, God is very compassionate to doubters. God's very warm to skeptics, and he doesn't reject us in our doubts. He doesn't reject us in our skepticism, but he embraces us and he loves us and he walks us through it. And if we can just have a little bit of faith, God can do great things in our lives and he can grow that faith. And so as you preach this, I'd encourage you to, again, point people to other resources we have, but not just that. I'd even encourage you to be really open. Just as you preach this, as you teach this message, to say, like, to admit your doubts. Maybe hopefully not like you're in like really extreme doubt right now as you preach this, but I'm sure you've had doubts in the past. And if you haven't, I have. So just tell people that I've doubted. But but let's be honest with them. Let's not pretend like we've never doubted. Let's be real with people, and let's just be honest and open with our doubts. And what we'll find is that, again, for those who are wavering, the point is not that you have this courageous doubt that never fades, but the point is Jesus Christ and trusting in him. And so you want to encourage people who are Christians that God can use the faith of a mustard seed, and he can use that to do great things. And then maybe this is a good opportunity to encourage people who aren't yet Christians, that maybe part of the reason they feel the way they do is because they've never really trusted in Jesus. Maybe they have a lot of the trappings of Christianity, but they haven't really trusted in him. And so you can call them to faith in Christ. And so I'll be praying for you. I hope you have a great week 2 in the series of doubt. I hope it sparks lots of conversations as we talk about dealing with doubt.